Kamera kontrol. Udah hampir setengah tahun nih iPhone 16 dan iPhone 16 Pro akhirnya dirilis, dan kita juga udah ngerilis beberapa video dari full reviewnya sampai review kamera dan sebagainya. Tapi gue yakin banyak teman-teman di luar sana yang sebenarnya tuh masih mempertanyakan apa sebenarnya fitur kamera kontrol ini. Emangnya kalau gue upgrade ke iPhone 16 bakalan berguna? Bukannya cuma gimmick doang? Nah, tenang dulu. Di hari awal pada saat gue hands on iPhone 16 dan 16 Pro di Malaysia ya, pertanyaan itu pun juga muncul di benak pikiran gue, guys. Nah, di video kali ini gue udah ada 3 orang tamu spesial nih, guys. Kenapa spesial? Karena 3 orang ini adalah perwakilan Apple langsung dari Cupertino. Ada Francesca Sweet selaku Director of iPhone Product Marketing, lalu ada Richard Dean selaku Vice President of iPhone Product Design, dan ada Pamela Chen selaku Chief Aesthetic Scientist for Camera and Photo. Ngeri gak sih? Ngeri dong ya kan, 3 eksekutif Apple tiba-tiba main ke channel iTech Live untuk langsung ngejelasin kamera kontrol next generation photographic style khusus untuk subscriber setia iTech Live. So langsung aja yuk kita simak penjelasan mereka.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We're so excited to talk to you about iPhone 16 and some of the incredible camera capabilities. And as you may know, iPhone is the world's most popular camera that has really forever changed photography. And people love to use their iPhone to capture amazing photos and videos. And so we wanted to create an elevated camera experience and bring a new level of personalization to your photos. So today we're going to talk about 2 features that do just that. So we have camera control and our latest generation photographic styles. Both of these features use the latest technology, from tactile sensors to new camera hardware, and are seamlessly integrated with software, Apple Silicon, and advanced intelligence. Starting with camera control really thoughtfully integrates hardware and software to help users get that perfect shot. Its convenient design ensures it's always within easy reach, easy to use in portrait or landscape, bringing you new ways to capture moments quickly and easily. For everyday users, camera control can quickly launch the camera, take a photo or video, so you don't miss that moment. And camera control is also force and touch sensitive, so thanks to its innovative design, it can distinguish between a full click and a light press, unlocking even more functionality for our power users. So a light press brings up a clean preview and helps you focus on framing that shot, and reveals a new overlay to help you adjust your shot. And when you press lightly twice, you can see the different controls like zoom, exposure, photographic styles, and more. And then you can adjust by sliding your finger in a simple and intuitive way. And you get this really precise haptic feedback for really elegant and satisfying experience. For pro photographers and camera enthusiasts, the camera control can unlock even more creative flexibility, like setting it to function as a 2-stage shutter to lock focus and exposure with a light press. This allows you to recompose your shot without losing focus or exposure on your subject. In settings, you can even customize gestures like the force needed for the light press or the speed for the double light press, ensuring that camera control works for everyone. Camera control is an amazing feat of technological innovation enabled by many components housed inside a tiny little space, all working in harmony to deliver a seamless user experience. And what makes the camera control so uniquely Apple is that tight hardware-software integration and our thoughtful design with incredible attention to detail. It's a product of deep and highly effective collaboration across a number of teams at Apple.
With camera control is now available on both iPhone Pro and consumer lineups, how do you think this will change the way in which customers engage with content creation?
Yeah, I think, as we mentioned, for us, it really was about enabling experiences for everybody. So an everyday user like me who is not a pro can just really quickly pull out the phone, capture a photo, and just make sure you're not missing that moment. So we wanted to still maintain simplicity for everybody, but of course for those pro users who can push things even further, we added additional controls and additional customizations that allow pros to really dial in their look and exactly what they want, and they have much more of a vision for what they're trying to capture. And so I think the beauty of camera control is that it's a great addition no matter who you are.
Hey Indra, it's so nice to be here with you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm so excited to tell you about camera control because it's unlike anything that we've previously done. And behind the delightful and easy to use experience are tons of engineering details with lots of Apple first innovation. So we'll get right into it. Camera control is made up of many different components and sensors that work together. Because that technology behind the architecture is designed in harmony with the product, it utilizes only the essential and minimum space needed. Now, it starts with a high precision, tight tolerance tactile switch, enabling the click experience that quickly launches your camera and takes photos and video. The beauty of a physical tactile switch here is that it lets you instantly access your camera for photography, even in situations when you have wet fingers or you're wearing gloves. And camera control goes beyond the physical switch. We have a high precision force sensor that detects input force using micron scale resolution to unlock the all new light press gesture. And on top of that, a multi-pixel capacitive sensor embedded directly behind the sapphire crystal to detect touch interactions when you slide your finger to make adjustments. Now, the multi-touch coprocessor in A18 and A18 Pro, alongside dedicated silicon for the force and capacitive sensor, interact with the Taptic Engine to give you precise haptic feedback. Now, what makes camera control even more unique is how deeply integrated and interconnected these components are to deliver an experience that's true to the user's intentions. And camera control algorithms also utilize what we call sensor fusion across other systems to identify and resolve situations when a click might be unintentional. So, like when your iPhone 16 is in your pocket or lying face down, or when you have game mode turned on, it will just know to ignore those clicks. And while it's always fun for me to talk about hardware and the hardware design behind a feature, a lot of attention and focus was placed on usability. I also want to talk about the amazing software and design innovations that take full advantage of all that hardware to deliver a seamless and intuitive, delightful user experience. Now, to do this, it's helpful to start at the beginning. Many of the features that we develop take shape by starting with questions, sparking innovation and discovery along the way. Now, the journey to create camera control was rooted in exploration. A broad range of experts came together from across the company to pour into every detail of the experience that fully leverages all of this incredible technology. And one fundamental question we wanted to address was around speed and simplicity, making it fast and easy to launch the camera and capture photos and videos. So we felt it was essential to have a single control ergonomically located that could launch the camera and act as a tactile shutter. Now, after investigating how to enable that, the team came back with a plan on handling the transition between photo and video, and this became a user interface design task. How do you transition from capturing photos to recording video and moving into that 16:9 aspect ratio and bringing in things like Dolby Vision HDR, all in a way that feels smooth and seamless? Now, this is a good example of how we all work in unison to create a singular vision and experience, and how we apply our most advanced engineering to create something truly remarkable, simple, and intuitive. And we also developed a creative workflow when deciding which adjustments to include in camera control. Now, composition is fundamental to storytelling. Using camera control, you can slide your finger to zoom in and out. And we worked closely with the sensor team to ensure that your finger movement mapped directly to the slider. Now, when we were developing this, we also wanted to think about color grading workflow. And that brings the new photographic styles into camera control. Francesca and Pamela will get more into photographic styles in a little bit, but when you're using camera control, you can slide your finger to choose a style or adjust the tone. And we even persist those style icon in clean preview so you can immediately jump into fine-tuning your look. Now, camera control is also designed to empower our developers so they can seamlessly enhance the experience in their camera apps. So from social media apps to professional photography and video apps, developers are already harnessing camera control to unlock new creative possibilities and elevate that capture experience for users. So that's a quick look at how we developed and created camera control.
Well, as far as I know, camera controls make it look like you are intending to bring iPhone photography closer to DSLRs. Was this the intent? Is this also why you situated in on the side of the iPhone?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, ensuring users can enjoy using camera control in the way that they want, including both portrait and landscape, was probably a paramount reason that we thought so much about where we're going to place camera control. And the user studies I mentioned helped us ensure that we're thinking about a design that's thinking about all of the users that use our devices. And you know, the experience of using camera control in landscape is inspired by the deep and rich history of cameras and shutter releases that came before us. But I think that's the reason it feels so familiar, natural, and intuitive.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello. As Francesca mentioned, we have been doing amazing work in computational photography, and now we have a huge range of tonal latitude in the scene. And so this provides the raw materials needed to account for an individual's personal preference for how they appear in photos and how the world around them appears to them. Light and the appearance of light has always been hugely important in photography. We can now adjust certain qualities of light later in our imaging pipeline for higher image quality and flexibility to reinterpret highlights, shadows, and color to match the photographer's artistic intention. So now you can control the light in the scene to capture the moment as you saw it. We also use the semantic understanding of Smart HDR to really refine the effects of light on different components of the scene like skin, hair, sky, clothing, etc. A big goal of ours was for iPhone photographers to be able to change the style after capture. And this is a big part of the intelligence used that powers photographic styles. Understanding the color relationship within the scene, understanding the intention of the shot, and adjusting them in unison at any time from capture to edit. I would love to tell you more about the thought and the research that went into developing these styles. For the past few years, in the development of photographic styles, we dived deep into the entire 200-year history of photography. But we also look forward, talking to people around the world, both in front of and behind the camera today. Why do people take pictures, and what do we like about them? So if you look at the history of consumer camera technology, from the origin of photography 200 years ago to 2007, you can cluster many of the advancements under three umbrella technological leaps. You have the first publicly available darkroom processes in the mid-1800s, to the first more portable cameras like 35mm and instant cameras in the 1900s, to the first digital cameras of the 1990s. And so we mapped these technological markers against art, media, economic, and geopolitical timelines, and we saw specific ways that advancements in camera technology shaped our global culture around image making. For example, we saw the rise of documenting candid moments, which coincided with the advent of portable and instant cameras. And a fresh value was placed on pixel resolution and camera speed with the rise of digital cameras. These milestones were separated by about 50 to 90 years each. But then, the iPhone came on the scene in 2007. And that not only accelerated the technical advancement of cameras in the 17 years since, but the iPhone has led to so many more people having the power of visual storytelling in their pocket. This has, of course, led to an astronomical increase in the number of photographs taken and seen in the world. And it's not only about capturing the major moments, but it's also about the moments in between. We are now seeing what people care about visually through their own eyes and in fresh and diverse ways. All this is to say, photography has always been a medium that requires precision and artistry, and this principle is at the core of how we build photographic styles. So I'd love to walk through a few examples. We have amber, which shifts hues to a deep bronze yellow, gold, a rich warm golden hue, rose gold, a warm rose gold hue, and neutral, which shifts yellow and red tones towards ivory and blue, which creates a more neutral rendering. And finally, cool rose, which decreases yellow tones and shifts towards a blue and pink cast on all skin undertones, resulting in a cool pink. This is the rich space of creative self-expression that photographic styles unlocks. So then we went further with mood styles. Each of the mood styles consists of a unique color palette inspired by photography's most powerful and relevant styles over time. So this is the mood style called quiet. For this mood, we went all the way back to the first stylized photographs of the late 1800s. And this was a time when photographers were trying to be taken more seriously as a new art form. And they captured these evocative, impressionistic scenes of dramatic light and lifted shadows, which were heavily influenced by romantic painters of that era. We know that this style has evolved and changed with camera technology, but the same intentions persist today. And one of my personal favorites next is the luminous mood. Since the early days of the internet, we've seen many color palettes emerge that are uniquely digital. Luminous is one of those palettes that draws inspiration from our digital world rendered onto the real world around us. This palette shifts hues towards a softer rainbow of colors, a lavender mint dream with warm bronzes, cool pinks, and a robin's egg blue. Within each of the 14 styles, there's also an easy-to-use control pad and intensity slider, and this is where you can see the power of photographic styles come to life. Just by sliding my finger up and down on the control pad, I can control the tone of the image while protecting skin tones. You can really see where the light is coming from in the scene and the shadows that it creates, all the way sliding up on the pad to the right image where we can recover detail and lift tone so you can see into the shadows. You can also see this playing out in our two new black and white styles. We have stark black and white with its deep crushed shadows and bright highlights, inspired by the grit and the drama of black and white photography that grew into popularity globally in the 1960s. And we have muted black and white, which is an homage to platinum palladium printing, the gold standard in black and white printmaking for its ability to capture a wide tonal range. We wanted to celebrate all that we've always loved about photography while also advancing the medium. Underneath the hood of photographic styles, there is some really powerful stuff going on that you actually don't have to think about. Basically, it's semantic, it's reversible, and it's fun to control. We designed the look and feel of each style to serve contemporary personal preferences while also honoring classical photographic techniques. At the end of the day, we just wanted to help our users get creative with light, shadow, and color choices without having to touch a bunch of technical controls, so you can take the picture that you want to take and be seen the way you want to be seen.
My next question is about the next gen photographic styles, which is I love it so much. I use it a lot on my iPhone 16 Pro. What was the trickiest part of getting photographic style to feel natural across lighting, subjects, and real-world use?
That's a great question. And I'm so happy to hear that you love it. Our latest generation of photographic styles goes deeper into the image pipeline. So our adjustments are content aware per image, meaning that it understands if there's a subject in the shot. Then it does deep analysis on the colors, the shadows, the highlights, all in real time, which allows us to push the creative range even further. The fact that each style is made up of a different color palette that affects individual colors in a scene is just an unprecedented amount of control that you have over the image without even getting into the control pad and intensity slider, which allow you to really customize beyond the out-of-the-box photographic styles available.
Looking back at the many milestones that were set by iPhone's camera, what are some of your highlights on this journey so far?
Yeah, I think we called a few of them out, but I think, we kind of started the computational photography journey when we introduced HDR, back in iPhone 4, and we've taken so many steps forward in this multi-frame image fusion process that's allowed us to get smarter and smarter and better about being able to push the limits of what you can do with the device that's in your pocket. And so we've brought so many capabilities that are typically reserved for pro users or typically reserved for, advanced editors. And so being able to bring some of these really complex technologies into the iPhone camera, and so much of it happens behind the scenes that the user doesn't even have to think about it. And so I think the progression that we've done with computational photography over the years has really allowed us to unlock so many of these powerful capabilities like photographic styles.
Cool. I just want to say thank you for your time, guys, and hard work so far. I'm
you.
excited to see breakthrough and innovation in the future generation of iPhone.
Thank you, Indra.
Thank you.
Thank you, Indra.
Bye.
Baik. And that's it, itulah dia sesi interview gua ngobrol bareng 3 orang eksekutif Apple dari pusat ya, dari Cupertino langsung ke studio iTech Lab di Tangerang Selatan gitu. Dan dengar-dengar sih nih ya, katanya kita iTech Lab jadi salah satu tech reviewer di Southeast Asia yang bisa kontekan langsung sama eksekutif Apple dari pusat. So thank you so much untuk kesempatannya, dan semoga intinya ya penjelasannya bisa mencerahkan kalian lah. Gua aja nggak expect kalau ternyata behind the story, behind the scene, fitur kamera kontrol di lineup iPhone 16 dan 16 Pro. Seperti itu story-nya, dan juga tadi ya next gen photographic style yang ternyata tidak hanya sekedar filter, bukan filter malah bisa dibilang, bahkan mereka punya referensi-referensi dari history gitu, dari style tahun 60-an, 70-an dan sebagainya. Gua nggak expect kalau photographic style itu behind story ada yang fitur tersebut itu se-deep itu gitu, luar biasa sekali. Dan gua pun juga cukup sering ya menggunakan next generation photographic style melalui dari iPhone 16 Pro gua atau yang iPhone 16 base model ini. Kalian bisa cek di Instagram gue karena kemarin kita juga baru trip ke Nusa Penida. Gue banyak jepret-jepret di sana walaupun belum semua, tapi udah beberapa gue spill hasil kamera dari iPhone 16 Pro menggunakan next gen photographic style. Ya silahkan diskusi aja di kolom komentar di bawah. Kalau misalnya next kalian pengen gue interview eksekutif dari Apple nih, kira-kira pengennya siapa ya kan? Kalau Om Tim kan udah kemarin waktu main ke BSD. Mungkin Om Craig ya kan, saya juga cukup mengidolakan, pengen nanya minyak rambutnya merek apa gitu. So ya, komentar aja di bawah, like and share this video. Terima kasih untuk kalian yang sudah selalu menantikan video dari iTech Live, sudah selalu support video-video dari iTech Live. Subscribe untuk yang belum biar kalian selalu stay tune video-video terbaru dari kita. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Saya Indra, until next time. Goodbye.